You know the feeling? We've all been there. You grab your phone thinking, I'll just check this one thing. And then boom, an hour is just gone, vanished into that endless scroll. It's so frustrating, right? But the real reason this happens? It's probably not what you think. So let's unpack the real psychology behind why it's so hard to stop scrolling.
I mean, does it ever feel like you're not even in control? A part of your brain is screaming, put the phone down, but your thumb just keeps flicking. If you've ever felt that disconnect, trust me, you are in very, very good company.
And it's so easy to just slap a label on it, right? To say, oh, I'm just addicted to my phone, or I have no willpower. But what if I told you that from a psychological standpoint, that's not really what's happening? What if that urge is actually a sign of something much deeper and way more human going on inside your brain?
Okay, so first, let's talk about what I like to call the scroll trap. This is that vicious cycle that is so easy to fall into. You scroll, you feel kind of gross about how much time you just wasted, and then to escape that bad feeling, what do? Somehow you just end up scrolling even more. It's a trap.
And this right here, this is the voice inside so many of our heads. We immediately blame ourselves. We think it's a personal flaw, some kind of defect in our character. And while that self-criticism feels so real in the moment, it's actually missing the entire point of what's going on.
So here's the big shift in thinking. That impulse to scroll, it is not a weakness. Think of it more like a signal, a clue. Your brain is trying to tell you something really important. It's on a mission, and your phone has just become the fastest, easiest tool to try and complete that mission.
So what is that mission? Well, it's a search for stability. And we're not talking about some abstract idea here. We are talking about a fundamental biological drive that is hardwired into every single one of us.
You see, deep down, your brain's #1 job is to keep you on an even keel emotionally. The second you feel any kind of dip, whether it's boredom, a little spike of anxiety, or sadness, it immediately starts scrambling, looking for a quick fix to get you back to feeling okay. And honestly, what's faster or more available than the phone that's right there in your hand?
This biological drive creates this incredibly powerful feedback loop that psychologists call digital mood repair. And once you see how this loop works, you'll understand why that pull to the phone feels so automatic, especially when you're feeling a little bit down.
So check this out. Here's how the mood repair loop works, and it is powerful. It all starts with step 1. You feel an emotional dip. You're bored, you're a little stressed. So you go to step 2. You pick up your phone, you start scrolling. Sooner or later, you hit step 3. You get some kind of positive feedback, a like, a funny meme, a nice comment. And that triggers step 4, a little hit of dopamine in your brain's reward center, which gives you step 5, a temporary lift. You feel a little bit better. And that feeling of relief is what reinforces the whole habit, making it even more likely you'll do it again next time.
And that's the perfect name for it, isn't it? Mood repair. You're literally using social media like a wrench to patch up a negative feeling. For your brain, it's a super effective strategy because it's fast, it's easy, and it's always available.
And this chart really just shows it perfectly. Look, your emotional state before you scroll is low, but after you scroll, you get a clear boost. The thing works. But, and this is a huge but, look at that label on the right. It's a temporary lift. It doesn't actually solve the reason you felt bad in the first place, which is exactly why you have to keep going back for more and more hits.
Now, as powerful as that whole dopamine loop is, it's actually not the whole story. Believe it or not, there is another, even deeper human need that keeps us glued to our screens.
And that is our deep-seated, totally existential need to be seen, to be part of the tribe, to feel like we exist and that we matter. In our digital world, this has kind of morphed into a brand new anxiety, the fear of social invisibility.
I know this question sounds a little intense, but think about it. It gets at a very real, very modern feeling. So much of our social connection happens online now that if you're not participating, it can literally feel like you're disappearing.
This is such a powerful force. We are social creatures who need external confirmation to feel, to feel real. Every post, every share, every comment is a little ping that says, hey, I'm still here. I'm part of this. It's become a modern way of proving our own existence to ourselves.
Okay, so let's put it all together. This right here is the big aha moment. For years, the myth has been that your endless scrolling is a character flaw, that you're lazy or you lack discipline. But the reality is so much more compassionate. It's a deeply human, biological search for two things we all need: emotional stability and social confirmation. It's not a flaw, it's a strategy.
So, knowing all of this, what do? Well, it allows us to adopt a totally new mindset.
It lets us get out of the blame game and into a place of understanding.
So instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you can start asking a much better question. What am I actually looking for right now? Am I trying to calm down my anxiety? Am I lonely and need a real connection? Do I just need to feel seen and valued today? See, your scroll isn't the problem. It's just a signpost pointing toward a deeper, unmet need.
And that's the real takeaway here. The goal isn't to beat yourself up until you stop. The goal is to understand why you're reaching for your phone in the first place. Because that awareness, that is the first and honestly the most powerful step toward building habits that actually serve you better.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. The next time you find yourself lost in a feed, your thumb just moving on autopilot, just for a second, pause and ask yourself, what is my brain really searching for in this moment? I think the answer might just surprise you.